Breaking Ness. Get ready, Eagles fans, because this Friday we're facing the New York Jets, and our team has everything it takes to show even more strength during this preparation. I truly believe in this squad, and I see great potential in every single player. We have the best general manager in the league, and that makes me confident we can reach the Super Bowl once again. And it doesn't stop there. In September, we've got a huge matchup against the Dallas Cowboys, a classic rivalry that always fires up the fans and could play a big role in shaping our journey this season. If you believe in this team, smash that like button and drop the name of your favorite Eagles player down in the comments. In my opinion, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley are the absolute standouts. Now let's get into it. The tension between Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys just keeps getting worse, and this is something that directly impacts the Philadelphia Eagles. According to Adam Schefter, it looks more and more like a divorce is on the horizon between Parsons and Dallas. Think about that for a second. One of the most dominant defensive players in the league, in his prime, at odds with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office. Reports have already indicated that Parsons submitted a trade request to Stephen Jones and expressed that he doesn't want to remain a Cowboy. Add to that the fact that neither side is currently talking, and this entire situation is looking uglier by the day. Parsons has one of the top agents in all of sports, David Mulugheta, and both he and his client are not the type to sit quietly while Dallas tries to drag out contract talks. The Cowboys might want to lean on the franchise tag in 2025, but Parsons isn't going to let that happen without a major fight. And here's where the Eagles come in. Not only do they face Dallas in Week 1 and later in the season, but if Parsons truly forces his way out, it's almost guaranteed that Howie Roseman will at least sniff around. The Eagles have always been aggressive when it comes to adding elite talent, and the idea of Parsons in midnight green would be a nightmare for the rest of the NFC East. But for now, his status still directly affects this season, because Dallas is either going to have to deal with an unhappy star or throw record-breaking money at him before the games matter most. While all that drama unfolds in Dallas, the Eagles are seeing promising signs from their own young players. Rookie first-round pick Jihad Campbell has been flashing every time he steps on the field. Monday's practice saw him running with the ones alongside Zach Bond at inside linebacker, and during the preseason, he already made one of the splashiest plays so far. A sack on Dylan Gabriel against the Browns. And this wasn't just raw athleticism. It was a well-executed design from Vic Fangio. Campbell showed decisiveness, speed, and that natural feel for blitzing that comes from his pass-rushing background. He shot through.
I gapped the moment the ball was snapped and finished the play, wrapping Gabriel up before the quarterback had any chance to process the coverage. That's exactly the kind of impact play this defense needs. Fangio dialed up something exotic, dropping Josh Uche and Azeez Ojulari into coverage while disguising Campbell's blitz. Gabriel thought he'd have an easy outlet, only to realize too late that the defense wasn't what it looked like. That's NFL football at its finest, schemes confusing quarterbacks, rookies executing their roles with confidence, and the result being a drive-killing sack. Campbell is already showing the instincts and versatility that could make him a cornerstone piece moving forward. For a defense looking to reestablish itself as one of the league's best, these are exactly the type of moments that matter. And then there's the newest addition to the roster, John Metchie. The Eagles acquired him on Sunday, and by Tuesday he was already practicing in Philadelphia. His first day was eye-opening for a number of reasons. Just 70 minutes into practice, he was already taking reps with the starters. That wasn't the original plan, but injuries at wide receiver forced the issue. A.J. Brown hasn't practiced in 18 days because of his hamstring, DeVonta Smith sat out with a groin issue, and rookie Johnny Wilson had to be carted off with a lower body injury. Suddenly, Metchie found himself in the mix, running with the first-team offense and even getting looks as a punt returner, despite never having done that before in college or Houston. Philadelphia has developed a reputation for taking chances on players with high draft pedigrees who, for one reason or another, didn't pan out with their first teams. In fact, Metchie is the 28th player over the last 2 years that the Eagles have acquired who was originally a top 3-round draft pick. The philosophy is clear. Trust the player development staff to maximize talent others have given up on. Metchie certainly fits that mold. Once a second-round pick, 44th overall in the 2022 draft, he's had to overcome more than most, tearing his ACL in the SEC championship, then being diagnosed with leukemia. Just making it back to the NFL field was a victory in itself, and now he has a fresh start in a system that could actually maximize his skill set. During his first practice, he caught a short pass from Jalen Hurts while running with the ones, made a leaping grab from Kyle McCord with the twos, and even served as a motion man in some offensive formations. Sure, he had a drop, but that's part of the process of getting up to speed. Kevin Patullo and wide receivers coach Aaron Moorhead emphasized that the timing is good, with still a couple of weeks to bring him along before the season's critical stretch. Plus, he has close ties inside the locker room that will make the transition smoother. DeVonta Smith, his former Alabama teammate, was the first to reach out after the trade, welcoming him into the fold. Metchie even has a strong connection to Jihad, having stayed with him during a recruiting visit to Penn State years ago. And while he didn't overlap with Jalen Hurts at Alabama, both share that Crimson Tide background, which certainly helps build familiarity. This could be one of those sneaky, under-the-radar moves that pays dividends later in the year. With Brown and Smith nursing injuries, the Eagles need depth and reliability at wide receiver. Metchie brings quickness, solid route running, and resilience that can't be measured on a stat sheet. The fact that he's already been thrown into meaningful reps shows how much confidence the staff has in him, even this early. Now the real question is, with all these moving parts, the Parsons drama in Dallas, Campbell flashing in the preseason, and Metchie jumping straight into the mix for Philadelphia, how do you feel about the Eagles' chances to capitalize on this momentum? Do you think Metchie can make an impact right away for this offense? What makes the John Metchie story so compelling is not just his talent, but his journey. This is a player who faced some of the toughest challenges anyone could imagine before even stepping onto an NFL field. Tearing his ACL was one thing, but being diagnosed with leukemia right after that, that's the kind of obstacle that tests a person beyond football. The fact that he not only fought through it but returned to the league, ready to contribute, shows exactly the type of resilience the Eagles value. Philadelphia has always thrived on players who embody toughness and perseverance, and Metchie's background aligns perfectly with the culture Nick Sirianni and the staff are trying to maintain. And it's not just about plugging holes at wide receiver. This move speaks volumes about how the Eagles operate. They are constantly evaluating, constantly looking for upside where others see risk. Houston may have moved on, bringing in players like Christian Kirk, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and others, but Philadelphia saw an opportunity. They didn't just see a receiver buried on the Texans' depth chart. They saw a high-character player with untapped potential, one who could thrive in the right environment. That's why Howie Roseman has built such a reputation as one of the best general managers in the game. It's about recognizing talent and fit, even when the rest of the league has shifted its attention elsewhere. In terms of fit on the field, Metchie could become a valuable piece in multiple ways. While he might not have the elite size of A.J. Brown or the polished route running of DeVonta Smith, he brings a versatility that the offense could really use. He can line up inside or outside. He's willing to be that motion man in creative looks, and his timing with Hurts and the offense will only improve with more reps. The Eagles don't need him to come in and be a star immediately. They need him to be reliable, to be another option defenses have to account for. In an offense already loaded with weapons, that's where he can carve out a role and prove his worth. Meanwhile, circling back to Jihad Campbell, it's worth emphasizing just how important his development